Hello, everyone. Each and every one of us has driven on base and has noticed some of the cars that are parked in the dorm lot. Some of those cars have us asking, how does an airman afford a car that expensive? Some of you may know someone who lives way above their means financially. Maybe they've always got to have the latest and greatest shoes, clothes. They always got to get a brand new car every couple years. Whatever. Maybe you're that airman. The fact is that we're seeing airmen who have no idea how to manage their finances. As an airman myself, I've seen this on a daily basis. I used to live in the dorms, so I've seen airmen come back with a brand new car literally every few months. I've most of my friends, I have really close friends who even struggle with this, and it's kind of frustrating to me because I try to, set an example financially. You'd be surprised to even know that it's not even just airmen. It's NCOs, senior NCOs, and even officers that struggle with this. So today I'm going to be talking about why all airmen should have to go through financial education. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how airmen put themselves in the jam financially. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the consequences of not being financially prepared. And lastly, we're going to discuss the provisions that need to be taken in order for airmen to be financially prepared. So, which brings me to my first main point. Everyone sees himself living a certain lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have dreams and aspirations. But we all have to be realistic about where we're at. Everyone knows that as military folk, we don't really make that much money. So it's going to take some thriftiness in order to manage that. You might not be able to eat every day out. Sometimes you may have to cook food or meal prep or something like that. Just to save your money. You don't always have to have a lavish meal or drive like some ridiculous car. So when I see airmen, pull up to the dorms with like a $60,000 truck or a $40,000 car, and the insurance is going to be insane on that, and the same thing with like the maintenance on it. A lot of people don't think about that. So these are just all things that I feel like people just kind of neglect, and it comes down to airmen overextending themselves. People don't think about like the type of lifestyle, how their lifestyle is actually going to be affected when they take on these extra financial responsibilities. So some things that I've seen airmen, like I mentioned about always having to buy the latest and greatest shoes. They always have to have like the nicest watches, whatever. But so the next thing we're going to be talking about is the consequences, which I feel like it's for us military people. This is the biggest thing. So, did you know that you can lose your security clearance if you're not financially stable? Yeah, that's right. You can lose your security clearance if you are not financially stable. The big question is, how can the military trust you with billions of dollars worth of equipment and very classified information, secret information, or even top secret information if you can't even pay your bills, or create a lifestyle for yourself, without financial burden. So this is something that that you really have to consider before you put yourself in the jam, because you're not only affecting yourself. You're not only affecting yourself, but you're affecting the mission. So a lot of people don't think about it like that at all. So this is gonna, which brings me to my next point, my last point, to discuss the provisions that actually need to be made in order for airmen to, in order for airmen to be educated. Now, I feel like personally, we spend a lot of time on things that really have nothing to do with financial success. A lot of the briefings we come through today are, uh, let's see, like SARC briefings. They're going to be like job related things, which are all good, but I just feel like we just neglect financial readiness. You know, like they may touch up on it every now and then, but it really hasn't really been hit on that as much as it needs to be. So my proposal is we at least need to have an annual an annual sit down class for everyone at least, and I feel supervisors should be proactive with their troops, talking to them about the dangers of not being financially prepared, because it ultimately will definitely affect your career. It'll affect the mental aspect and also your performance on the job. So it's just a very important it's just a very important life aspect for not even just us military people but civilians. I remember growing up and my parents struggled financially. So my whole goal growing up was to never put myself in that position ever. So in conclusion, today we've talked about how airmen get themselves in a jam. We've talked about the consequences of not being financially prepared, and lastly, we've talked about the provisions that need to be made in order for airmen to be educated. It's a very important thing that the Air Force that we can't neglect, and I hope that one day that we can all agree on that and we can move forward being more financially prepared. Thank you.